the creator. Stop playing.
Alright everyone, how you guys doing? It's Shy Saint Rayne, and I'm here to talk about a game that honestly breaks my heart to see get ripped on. I don't even have too much to say, so I'm just gonna hop right into it, talking about CyberPunk 2022 on PS4. I know it's been a while since that game came out, and I feel like I had to make this video at some point, so here we are. I'm just going to go over a few things I do like and I definitely dislike about the game, specifically from a developer and player's perspective. Try to go over decisions I think were either good or just terrible, and give my overall thoughts on the game. As a game developer myself, I try to be honest about how I felt playing the game, how I felt being on the receiving end of certain design decisions. I'm not trying to just be angry or anything like that about the game, because I really did want to like this game. I really do still want to like this game, but I just feel like the developers themselves kind of gave up, so at least on the PS4. So quick background, so this is one of my first videos, and if you're seeing this later on, or if you're seeing it around the time I'm posting it for the first time, and I'm still new to this, yeah, I am a game designer myself. My first game is Ash Warriors on the iOS store. I started off as a writer and a game director, more so than a programmer, but to be honest, I do most of everything that goes into game design by myself. So I do the concept work, I do animations, I do coding, I do a lot of it. I'm not a master, but I do respect the effort and the time that goes into making a good game, because video games really are important to me. My first tattoo was the crown from Kingdom Hearts. One of my first games growing up is like playing Tekken, as a kid on the PlayStation. So these are the things that kind of made me who I am today. So I do take video games very serious, and as a business, as a part of reality, it serves a purpose. So I'm gonna start with some praise, and we're gonna talk about the visuals of this game, because I do think the visuals for CyberPunk look really good. The visuals are great. Interiors look good, exteriors look really good. I know the game has a lot of graphical issues and bugs and pop-ins and a lot of things that people complained about, especially when the game first launched. But I never really had much issue with the game on my PS4. I was playing on the PS4 Pro when it launched, and I'm talking about before like the patches and stuff, because I did most of my series playthrough before they really started patching the game. So I beat the game in maybe the first month of it being out. I was still playing it and wrapping up my gameplay when it was taken off the store and stuff. So I'm talking about everything really before the patching. So I never really had much issues with the bugs and stuff like that. I did not like the photo mode. I thought the photo mode was pretty trash, to be honest. But the visuals themselves, I thought were a treat. Going from the city to the outskirts, going to the desert, I thought everything hit. The graphics hit, the textures hit, that feeling of being in one area and the atmosphere of what that looked like, and then going to a whole different side of town and just feeling like, yeah, no, this is a different area, this is a different place. I really felt like visually the game knew how to deliver. The outfits, the people walking the street, the graphics of the abilities, like the special effects, I should say. I loved all of it. I didn't really have any issues with the visual side of the game. I never really had much to complain about. So, yeah, they did their thing. Like, the developers really did a good job with the visual side of the game, at least. Not counting for the bugs that a lot of people had to deal with, But what really matters to me for a video game is the gameplay. And I think the game really actually excelled in the gameplay mechanics. if you ever played Skyrim, this is kind of very familiar. But it's more modern, if not futuristic. It has a very different aesthetic to it. The cyberpunk aspect of like body modification, really, in my opinion, is what makes everything work. It's what makes the game different and refreshing, and it turns what's basically just a GTA or Fallout kind of mashup. It turns it up to 11. It makes it its own thing, and that's dope. Like there's passive perks, active perks. There's this thing I really like where you have like skills that level up as you do certain things passively. Like if you're just using a bladed weapon, this skill tree at the bottom will continue to go up, and it'll give you like faster swing times or more blade damage and stuff like that. And it makes it so that your character is getting better on their own because you're doing something consistently, but also you actually have active control over improving your character, and then you're actually getting better at the game. So it's just like it becomes this really good feeling of growth and progression, and by the time you get to like the end of the game, you feel like you're a beast. You're hacking, stopping time, dismembering, remembering the dismembering, becoming friends with Skippy because that's the best gun in the game, you know. This game just becomes really fun to play, and then it stops. The game ends, and there's nothing else to do. The plot fizzles out, and you're just like, is this something you want to play twice, like from the beginning? I don't know. I can't really say it is. It's something that I really kind of want to continue playing, you know. The side quests, there's still side quests after you beat the game. There's side quests going, you know, when you start the game and stuff, but they're not all bad, but they're not all good. And I think the few good ones are just constantly like drawn out or overshadowed by like the bad ones. You know, there's a few side quests out there that almost feel like they have main quest level attention. Like there's plot twists, and there's progression, and there's development within the side quest. But for the most part, a lot of them is just go here, there's some people to kill, and then good job, you killed the people, take my phone call. And once you beat the game, like none of the quests are anything exciting. Like there's nothing new to learn, nothing new to discover, nothing new to feel or unlock. Like the game pretty much ends once you've beaten it, and the rest of the quests just become like, I guess, like a trophy collection or something. I don't do trophies, so I'm not sure how much that motivates someone who isn't into getting like platinum trophies or whatever. But for me, once the game ended, I would try doing quests. I would just want to play the game. Like sometimes I really just wanted to play the game, and I just couldn't find anything to do. And then there was like, you know, patches that kind of changed how abilities work and stuff, and I wanted to create new builds and see how it affected the game, but there was never anything to really do, you know. And so the game just ends once you beat it, and I think that was by design. I think that was their intent. I don't think there was anything else they wanted you to do. The game ends very definitively. Like very definitively it ends, and then it just adds on kind of, it's not a new game plus, but it's like if you want to keep playing, you can pretend it hasn't ended yet, and I don't think that's fun, you know. And it's really disappointing because the game is fun to play. It's just there's nothing really to do. The world itself is kind of empty, and that kind of brings me to the next thing. Like the game is immersive when you're into the story. Like before you beat the game, when you're doing that main quest, the sound, the music, like the effects, the shootouts, all of that, like it all kind of works. It all hits, you know. It drives a lot of the action. It pulls you into the moment to moment and what's going on. Even like performing in front of a crowd, even though that was like a quest line mission, it was really cool just really being into that moment. It really is something that you can get lost into. Like the game really is actually immersive when it's not falling apart from bugs or reminding you that once you beat the game is done. It really is an immersive game. And so I will say from start to finish, I respect what the developers did. I respect what they kind of sought out to do, and I can see why they made some of the decisions they made. I think the gameplay and the RPG mechanics are top notch. I think the skill trees and all of that are amazing. Like I can just not say enough praise about that. I love that kind of stuff. But the quest and the storylines was kind of meh, and with it being an open world RPG, and it gives the vibe of like, okay, this is the concept of Skyrim, but with more of a GTA kind of look to it. Like you're expecting a game that's going to last you a while, because GTA lasts forever, Skyrim lasts forever, but this game doesn't try to last as long as either of those two. It doesn't last anywhere near as long. It's a really short ride, and it's fun. It's really fun, but it ends early, if not prematurely. And if you play on PS4, you know that once you finish it, they are not coming back to give us anything else. So on PS4, the game is over, and it is what it is, and it was cool. It ended too early, but it was cool. I might revisit it on the PS5 if they ever do get around to dropping a DLC or something. I can't even promise I'll buy a sequel, but if they drop a DLC, I'll definitely check it out if I have a PS5 by then. But as far as the way the PS4 version ended, I can't say I approve of this game overall. I can't say I give it like a real thumbs up. It's just a game I feel pushes me away every time I want to play it, and that's really unfortunate. But from the start of the main quest to the end of the main quest for the first time, I think it's a good experience. It's a good ride. I think it's worth checking out. You might actually enjoy it, and once it's done, you just put it down and move on. I think it's a great game for that. I was really hoping for a game I could get lost in for a while, and I thought they were going to do that, and it was not that game. So it is what it is. Kind of a disappointment, but it's okay.